there's an impression from Reconquista that you guys are more about aesthetics rather than theology.
Like, I would agree with you that it's a problem. It's most certainly a problem. And it's not one that's unfounded. So that's why I think that it has done damage, and that's why I try to qualify everything with Scripture, and I try to bring it in.
I would submit to you the following, and I'll see how you respond to this. I think part of Reconquista's messaging, and sometimes when I see online interactions, sometimes it can get heated, especially if you're going to certain
certainly
people with certain persuasions. And I think sometimes it's a little bit of talking past each other. When I see the Reconquista boys, when they're on their best and they're doing their best apologetics or polemics, whatever it would be, it's when you guys are talking Scripture and you're making the historical arguments and you're citing your theologians. And I think the reason for that is if you're talking to for the most part, an evangelical Protestant, now Redeemed Zoomer wouldn't like the word Protestant for some of the evangelical people,
right.
But people that have a high respect for their Bible and their Bible studies, and in some regard consider themselves like deeply into theology, I think the building talk and the look how beautiful this is, sometimes that misses the mark because you're speaking a different language to them. I saw this and I noted this in the debate with Redeemed Zoomer and Matt Everhard. I think Zoomer actually made the better scriptural argument. I think Zoomer actually made the better theological argument when he cited these giants of the Presbyterian faith. And I think it would do well. And maybe this is my from the outside looking in. There's an impression from Reconquista that you guys are more about aesthetics rather than theology. So do you feel like that is a sense that you can see from your vantage point, especially being where you're at in the communication side of Presbyterians for the Kingdom? Is that something you guys are working through? And how do you think is the best strategy for maybe converting some of these non-denominational low church Baptists to think of a more higher form of church culture?
Yeah. So, I would agree with you that it's a problem. It's most certainly a problem. And it's not one that's unfounded. It's not a concern that's unfounded that we only, care about. Y'all are just all about aesthetics. Now, why is this not unfounded? Well, Redeemed Zoomer, he knows I'm going to be honest about him. He's not. Contrary to popular belief, he is not off camera holding a gun, making sure I say the right things. He knows I'm going to be as honest with him as I possibly can be, and I think that he has done us great harm in that regard of focusing so much on the aesthetics. I really think he does. He has, and I've told him this to his face, so I can say it here too, and I know he'll see this. So I hope he doesn't get too mad. I don't think he will. Because I've said it to him before. But yeah, I think he's done us great harm in focusing so much on the aesthetics. So that's kind of the view on it. So when I speak of aesthetics, you'll notice what I did first is I mentioned the temple and the tabernacle. Yeah, good.
Sorry, I was going to say, someone in the comment section, I had to make sure that this wasn't serious. No, Redeemed Zoomer's not there to threaten him. Okay, we were memeing about that, but I think he's he's memeing too. So. Hey, that's inspired philosophy.
Yeah, that's inspired
philosophy in there.
Everybody, shout out to Gabe right now, bro. Like, he's a great guy, by the way. I know the guy. He's a good friend of mine. Go check out his stuff, trinityapologetics.com. He has some incredible articles. Wonderful, wonderful up and coming apologist, and wonderful guy. Anyway. Yeah, so you'll notice when I started talking about aesthetics, the first thing I did was I brought up scripture, and that I mentioned the temple and the tabernacle. And so that's what I try to do every time when I mention that. When I bring that up, I'm going to connect it to scripture. God's standard in scripture was this beautiful, ornate temple and beautiful ornate tabernacle. But that's exactly one being how they come from.
They're not letting it go.
They're funny, bro.
I mean, we can't prove it. We can't prove it.
Paladin and Paladin, bro, it's. I am perfectly fine. I don't need to blink at all. In fact, I'm fine. I'm fine, guys. I'm fine. And,
Yeah. I mean, Zoomer's a New Yorker, so I wouldn't be surprised. The mafia connections for how he's running Reconquista.
The mafia connection. Hey, and he's got that thick New York accent. It's funny. This is funny. We're getting on a bit of a tangent here, but
I derailed. I'm so sorry. I'll make sure we rope it back in to get to.
Hey, I do too. During live streams like this, it's all right to cut loose sometimes. But no, I remember the first time that I about died laughing the first time I did a video with him. You can still find it. It's the Journey to Presbyterianism with Isaiah W. Long. And when he introduced me, he says, "Hey guys, I've got this awesome new PC USA YouTuber with me today. His name is Isaiah Long. Isaiah Long, he's an incredible YouTuber." And I was like, "Is this Bernie Sanders or like who am I speaking?" Nobody in my life has ever called Isaiah Long. Nobody uses the O like that. So I about died laughing. Funny when he first interviewed me, but. So yeah, maybe he's got the mafia connections. He's certainly got the accent. Might make him an offer he can't refuse. But anyway, so when I bring up aesthetics, I try to always connect it to scripture. And there were people weeping when the second temple was erected because they think it's not pretty enough. It's certainly not what came before, and there's a reason for that. We have not met the standard that was set before in Solomon's temple or in Moses' tabernacle. So that's why I think that does a lot of damage when we disconnect it from scripture and we go like, but the stained glass though, like it's pretty. Yes, it's pretty. It's pretty. I love stained glass. Paladin and I venerate stained glass every night in our Discord VCs. By the way, join my Discord. It's great. We have a great time. We have a fantastic time. You'll have a much better time than if you join Redeem Zoomers Discord. But we love stained glass windows and we love it. But when we start talking like that, where we're overly focusing on aesthetics, the accusation that comes and the response that comes back is rightfully, I think, well, the early church worshipped in the catacombs, or the early church worshipped in houses, or there are people in China who don't have buildings, they worship in secret. I know there are churches that they can't sing too loudly, or they can't have any instruments because the police themselves might crack down on them. So I think that is a right accusation, a right response to that. That's why when I, not like Right Response Ministries, but like it's a right response to that statement. That's why when I talk about aesthetics, I try to qualify it with scripture, and I try to talk about what happened when Christianity was not persecuted anymore. We buildings and we began building them beautifully into standards that would make that would put to shame even it would put to shame churches who are some of these non-denominational mega churches today. So that's why I think that it has done damage, and that's why I try to qualify everything with scripture, and I try to bring, and that may be my Southern Baptist tendencies, that may be my evangelical leanings coming.
That's good.
I really do.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, exactly. This that's where I come in. I come in with this scripture for everything. So that's I would agree with you that is causing some damage, and that's why, like I said, I try to qualify everything with scripture,
especially related to schism. I don't think I have heard a good counter to the voluntary schism thing. I really don't. I don't, and I'm saying this as someone who's not quite. I mean, maybe I'm getting there, but I'm not fully Reconquista pilled yet. But I haven't come to terms with a good counter argument to.
Yeah, you'll be there soon enough.
A voluntary.
Just give it time.
Just give it time. Yeah, but you said.
What if going to St. Al's deconverts you?
Go to St. Al.
Going to St. Al. That's not going to happen, sir. I'm sorry. I may convert St. Al. I may be the Presbyterian that converts St. Al. Yeah, for those who don't know, I am going to Alma Seminary because it is a mainline seminary, and it's based and it's conservative. And I'll say this too. The men who founded Southern Seminary, a lot of them were Princeton grads. I know John A. Broadus certainly was. I actually have a book back there somewhere. I'm working on getting a bookcase because I have books absolutely everywhere in my room. They're here, they're there, they're everywhere.
Yeah,
they're under there
too.
So I have a book back there that's some of the life and works of John A. Broadus, and he's a Baptist going to a Presbyterian school, and so my line of thinking is the same as his. I would rather study with his line of thinking was I would rather study with Presbyterians who believe the Bible than with Baptists who don't, because there was not really a good Baptist seminary at the time that was theologically conservative. And this is at the time of Old Princeton, where we have leaders like P.B. Warfield and Charles A. Hodge. And so my thinking going to Southern is pretty much the same as that. I'd rather study with Baptists who believe the Bible than Presbyterians who don't. And again, that still gives me the same mainline theological education that I need. So yeah, no, I may be the guy that converts Al Mohler to Presbyterianism, and then after that Southern Seminary will just become Presbyterian. Yeah, that's how it's happened. It's actually a secret plan. I've already been coordinating with the Presbyterians there. You just don't know that yet.
You got an entire class coming in.
Yeah,
exactly. We got this secret plot.
You heard it here first. Southern Baptist for the Kingdom is about to drop. Well, but they'll have to get another name, I guess, because they'll become Presbyterian.
Exactly.